The best moment of the week has already come. We are here, cup of water, and let's talk about things related to English, confidence, and all of that stuff. Okay, so we are watching this, and we're in this space because we are professionals who block in English, or we are perfectionists, we are high demandant, we want to do everything perfect, and well, we realize that we have been studying English our whole life, and that's not the best thing to do because we are in the same exact place, isn't it? Okay, so let's go straight to the point because today I want to talk to you about something that I am sure that you have to think about it, but I just want you to talk about this, okay? And it's consistency. I know that this is a word that I use a lot, consistency, commitment, but it's something that is really important. I don't know how consistent you are. I don't know how committed you are to something, but I want you to know my story, or write a part of my story, or part of who I am, because maybe it can make you reflect. I remember when I was in high school, in school, I have never been that kind of person that just studies a little bit and knows everything, okay? That was my brother. My brother, he's this kind of person who has the memory that he has, or his brain works in an incredible way in which he just studies and he remembers, or he knows something or listens to something and he remembers about that. And my dad is exactly the same. In my case, I am not that way. I am that kind of person that needs to understand like the inside, the deep inside of everything before I can remember that. So for example, when I was in the high school, I remember, I don't know if this happened to you, but for me, history, right? The subject of history, I love it. I think that it's super interesting, but I was super bad at it, okay? Like in the sense of, I remember that my best friend, in just 2 days, she did know everything. In my case, I needed to study like for 2-3 weeks to just remember something, all right? So it was horrible. So the thing is that since I was very young, I had to be this kind of person that had to be very consistent with everything, because if I wasn't consistent, I couldn't get it was impossible for me to get something. So I just accepted that I am not I am not like my father and my brother. They remember everything. They just have that incredible mind. But in my case, it's like I have an incredible mind, but I need more time. I need time to understand things. I need time to process things. And I just accepted that. So during my whole life, he sido un poco de hormiguita, ¿no? De picando piedra, siempre picando piedra, siempre picando piedra. But I made that a part of the way I am. So the way I am in everything in life. Like I always think now that I prefer these because the most incredible thing in the world is like doing something little by little and enjoying the process, all right, isn't it? So with English, what happens with English? In your case, for example, talking about this all. During our whole lives, ¿vale? Durante toda la vida, y voy a decir esto en español, durante toda la vida, cuando estábamos en el instituto, era como tenemos un examen la semana que viene, estudia para el examen de la semana que viene, lo haces y te olvidas, ¿vale? Es como toda la vida ha sido, damos una cosa en clase, lo estudiamos y hacemos examen, y así, ¿no? Era como por un objetivo de un examen. Claro, eso al final, si tú te acuerdas, ¿no? Cuando estabas en el instituto, lo que hacías era, te decían, tienes que estudiar todos los días, pero eso no lo hacía casi ni Dios. Era como tengo que estudiar todos los días y bueno, voy a estudiar el día antes del examen o 2 días antes y lo hago, ¿no? So, what we understood with that in our brains, okay, is that you study something, you do an exam, you forget. Then, when, for example, if you have gotten a certificate, for example, a B1, B2, C1 certificate, it was exactly the same. You go to classes. You go twice a week, for example, you study, you do exams, and then you have the certificate and you forget that. The problem with that is that that's not real life. Like, that's not realistic. That is studying something for an objective. But for example, in real life, if you want to be this kind of person that speaks in English, the way I do right now, for example, that you can speak about anything and it just flows, it's impossible that you do it just like, okay, so I do a program or I do classes for 3 months or 1 year, going twice a week for the classes, 1 hour, and then forgetting about it because I want to get a certificate. In that sense, you won't get anything. You won't get English to be part of your life. For English to be part of your life, you need to take it into your life, but not just for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, not like forever. You need to get that English gets into your life. And you cannot do that by studying English twice a week. Or you cannot do that if you just don't train your English. Or if you say, yeah, I will do it. I will do it on Sunday. No, dear, no. You need to be consistent. And you need to love the process. You need to actually fall in love with the process. You need to fall in love with it. So, esto solo y únicamente si tú quieres conseguir que el inglés forme parte de tu vida, ¿vale? O sea, si quieres un certificado de idioma, por supuesto, pues al final no. Pero en este caso, como si tú realmente quieres que el inglés forme parte de tu vida, necesitas enamorarte del proceso. Necesitas enamorarte de los días malos. Necesitas enamorarte de los días que no tienes ganas de entrenar. Necesitas enamorarte del proceso. And for that, you need to create a space for that. And the space is, for example, that you say, all right, so every morning I will grab my coffee and I will grab my coffee, I just do my training in English. And you fall in love with that moment. You can puedes romantizar ese momento, incluso romantizar el momento, en la cosa de, oye, pues va a haber días malos, ¿vale? But you need to fall in love with the process. You need to do it. Because if you don't fall in love with it, you will just skip it when you feel tired or when you have a bad week or things like that. So, if you are listening to me and you are consistent, yes, congratulations. Just keep going that way and remember something. Motivation will fade, okay? Motivation will just leave. It's completely normal, all right? Because motivation is just dopamine, it's serotonin, it's chemicals in your brain. So it will just leave from your brain. So if you are consistent, if you are really consistent, remember that you will have bad days. So you need to have an action plan for those bad days to do something and keep with your consistency. If you are not a consistent person, if you, for example, have weeks in which you are like super intense, but then you have some weeks in you are like, I don't want to train, I won't train, then you need to first take responsibility of your reality, okay? Take responsibility of where do you want to get. Take responsibility of why are you here. And when you take the responsibility, you need to organize how you are going to fall in love with the process, okay? Falling in love with the process is just doing it with a mindset shift. En realidad, enamorarnos de un proceso no se trata de decir, es que es maravilloso, es precioso, me encanta. No, enamorarnos de un proceso es darnos cuenta de que ese proceso nos está ayudando a llegar a tener un cambio realmente en nuestra vida. Y entonces es como realmente tener un cambio de mentalidad, ¿vale? Es empezar a mirar a las cosas que hacemos con otras lentes, con otros ojos. Vale, yo puedo a lo mejor decir, es que no me apetece, es que no tengo ganas, qué rollo, no sé qué, y en ese momento darme cuenta de mis pensamientos y hablarme de otra forma y decir, venga, pero sí, lo voy a hacer porque en realidad después me voy a sentir genial y no sé qué, no sé cuánto, pero eso hay que hacerlo de manera consciente. Llegará un momento que se hará inconsciente, pero tengo que empezar a hacerlo de manera consciente. And that little by little will get you to your goal. And that's it, actually. I just wanted to say that because I think that it's important to remember why consistency is important. If you want to get something great, something big, you need to be consistent, always. And to be consistent, you need to know exactly why are you doing something, all right? I really hope that you loved this video. It was a short one, just talking about consistency a little bit. I really hope that you have a very, 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 very nice day. And don't forget to smile.